Hey, warning you right now, if you haven't watched episode 31 of Swampletics, there will be spoilers in this video. You're probably going to want to go watch that first if you haven't already. This spoiler warning will disappear in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, okay. So there's a lot to talk about. Once I started editing episode 31, I knew that I would need a video like this after the fact to talk about things, clear the air. There's honestly a lot to say and I don't even know where to begin. I was going to try to do it all in one take. I don't know if I'm going to manage that. Probably not, but we'll try. First things first, let's address the death. There's some theories going around that it's staged or faked to milk the series, extend it. I'll get to that, I promise. I'm going to paint you a picture of that whole week leading up to the wipe. The week ending September 12th was without a doubt the worst week of my life. And I'm not going to go into that much detail because some of it just isn't meant for my RuneScape YouTube channel. But the last 6 months have just been a long downward spiral of my mental health, entirely as a result of a very unhealthy dynamic in my life. A dynamic that's no longer there. The main cause of my unhappiness, unfulfillment, anxiety, it was a wild ride getting out of it. It's done, it's past, and I feel like a much stronger and better person because of it, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So I want to get to the actual day of the wipe. So September 12th was probably the peak of my mental rock bottom. I was playing RuneScape more so because I felt like I had to at the time, which I hate because I love this game and I had been doing that for a week, mindlessly smithing adamant bolts, 40 hours, same path, same route, same clicks. Not a single thought ever crossed my mind about dying anywhere, and I said this in the video, I just didn't think I could die anywhere while doing this. The hour that the wipe happened, I had just left my desk to call the police. I went downstairs, I had a 10-minute phone call, I had to get some fresh air afterwards, and by the time I came back, I just didn't want to look at anything. I was so out of it after that call. I didn't want to look at a monitor. I just laid down. I slept. It wasn't for long. I got back on, and I didn't play RuneScape because I didn't want to look at RuneScape at the time. I played Minecraft for a while, and then eventually I was like, okay, I got to finish this grind. You know, it's been like 3.5 weeks since a video. Like, I got to do this, right? And I got on and I saw myself in Lumbridge. So, you know, that's that. And if you don't take my word for it, then hopefully you'll take Jageex's word for it. I reached out to the Old School RuneScape stats team and I asked them to provide me as many details as possible surrounding my account activity on September 12th, as well as my death. And this is exactly what they had to say. So they ping locations every 30 seconds and they were able to see my exact coordinate as well as exactly how long I stood there. So since I had auto retaliate off, I was getting attacked for quite a long time because of how the combat AFK timer works. It looks like I died in around 17 minutes of being attacked. The combat AFK timer when auto retaliate is off is something a lot of people simply didn't know about, and I didn't know about it either until my death. If you have auto retaliate off, you will literally sit there and be attacked for 6 hours until you either die or log out after the 6 hours. Basically, I had no chance. And they were able to ping my next time logging in, which was, you know, in Lumbridge, which was right around 2.5 hours later. Feel free to pause the video to read, you know, everything they had to say, by all means. That coordinate tile they gave me, they sent a picture of the exact tile, and sure enough, it was the tile right before the minecart. And once you pass that minecart is where you're safe. And that tile makes by far the most sense, because each trip I had to go through this gate, and you can't click directly on the minecart from this gate. You can only click on the tile right before it, and once you do that, you're just waiting for your character to get there, and then you click on the minecart. I know a lot of people were like, well, there's no way you AFK'd in the one dangerous area, man, but that's the thing, I didn't think of it as a dangerous area. I ran through there 150 separate times at this point. I did it for 2 weeks straight, and I definitely AFK'd a few times in different spots. I felt safe, I was complacent, and I didn't even know about the combat AFK timer difference until the death happened. So, anyway, moving on. And here you can see on September 12th, I also gained 2400 smithing XP, which would be 12 separate trips to the Haunted Mine. Each bar gives 100 XP total from both smelting and smithing, so 12 trips to the Haunted Mine on that day. So yeah, that's my death location, XP gained, as well as other death details. Thank you so much to the Old School team for providing that for me. Moving on, I terrified everyone in my house with my reaction to being in Lumbridge. It was very, very scary for me. I was already going through a lot at this point, and here is just the most grave mistake I could possibly make. I remember my brain just going 300 miles a second. What are people going to think? How does this look? Like, how did I let this happen? My heart was actually shattered in that moment. I didn't know what to do. I frantically started to hop worlds to look for my stuff because at this point, my perception of time just felt so warped. How long was my phone call? How long was my nap? Maybe there's a chance it's somewhere here. It was a very desperate attempt, but I would never forgive myself had I not at least tried to look for my things. And once it was all said and done, I knew I had to rebuild. I wanted to rebuild, and my amazing friends helped me see the good in the situation that I tried so hard to find at the time. You guys know who you are, by the way. I love and appreciate the shit out of you. And I also saw a lot of people misunderstand this part of the video. I'm going to spare you the live commentary of this 28-minute clip. It's just me trying to find my items desperately, even though I knew deep down it had been over an hour, which means they're all gone. So in that clip, I specifically state that I don't want to show the live commentary. You don't want to listen to that. I mean, you think you do, but you don't. And I don't have footage of my death. I specifically said live commentary. I had been away from my desk for, well, as we found out, 2.5 hours. I don't record while I'm gone. It's just, it doesn't happen. No one does. So other people said, well, he didn't kill Firewatch. Those drop nature runes. They also drop Addy ore and they drop coal. So he could have just avoided this entire grind if he went to Firewatch, which means, you know, the death is fake because he chose to do it this way instead. I hate to break it to you, but first of all, the Addy ore on that table is 1 in 55, dude. I would have to kill 20,000 Firewatch to get enough Addy bars. No, okay, no. And even if it was just for the nature runes, I still would have had to go into the haunted mine. There's no avoiding those 30 tiles. So that's that. I honestly didn't do Firewatch because I thought Shade Chest would be a lot better. I got 150 nature runes while trying to reclaim a strength amulet back in the day, and I didn't need anything else that Firewatch dropped, so it just made sense to me. But yeah, it would have probably... I would have probably gotten at least some nature runes had I done Firewatch, but yeah, that doesn't change the circumstances of the death. That was just a bit of an oversight nature rune-wise, but that's about it. So yeah, moving on, I start editing. It takes me a long time to make episode 31. I eventually finish it. It took me a while to press that button to make it public. I've never been so mortified to put out a video because I knew the emotions I was about to evoke on people, and that's just never a good feeling unless they're positive emotions, but they definitely weren't in this situation. And a while after uploading it, I see that quite a few people don't buy it. They don't believe it. RuneScape scientists are out here trying to recreate my death like a Mythbusters episode, and people saying that I did it on purpose to milk the series and make more money from it, which I just want to point out that if I was really in this for the money, I am doing an absolutely atrocious job of it. I'm currently posting a video every 1 or 2 months. I've never taken a sponsor in my life. I could literally take a mobile game sponsorship tomorrow and be paid the price of 5 videos. I haven't streamed on Twitch in 2 years because I didn't want the series to be spoiled for people. Every decision I've made regarding the series has been in the name of entertaining people and making it the most quality entertainment that I could possibly make it. Does that mean I hate money? Well, no. I mean, I still like being paid like anyone else. I still want to move out one day. I want to send my future kids to college. I want to help my parents. It's just, I've chosen to put the quality of the series above anything else. And the fact that I could be sacrificing this much progress for what? 1 extra episode? I plan to make one episode out of this death. And I could make like 10 other videos in that time, man. It's really not a case of milking it for money. This whole adventure has just been in the name of making the most quality entertainment I could possibly make and also just having fun. I have 12,000 hours on this game strictly on accounts that can't bank or trade across these 2 accounts, mainly on my main account. But I learned a lot about myself by doing that. I learned that I enjoy making videos out of something creatively out of the norm or insane, and I also love playing the game that way. Really rambling here, I'm sorry. Anyway, what I was gonna say is as soon as I wiped, the plan was to do the entire rebuild in one single video. Episode 32, pre-finale. Episode 33, finale. I get 1 extra episode out of this mistake, and, you know, as I said earlier, in the several hundred hours that it's going to take me to make this, I could make 10 other videos. So trust me, I didn't do this on purpose. And I don't know how long ago I made Swamp Nightmares, but that was literally a video about this situation. Like, I explained how much I didn't want it to happen because I was worried about the continuity of the series. I didn't want people to watch the same thing. I didn't want people to watch Barrows again or Lucky Implings again, and that's why I really didn't want it to happen. But thankfully, I've found a really, really awesome way to make this rebuild video. I think it's going to be the best video I've ever made, and I'm very, very excited to edit it. I plan to make it very, very fresh to watch so that the people that have already watched all these grinds don't have to sit through them in the same style or the same, format again. I think it'll work out great. I'm very hopeful about that. I think people will really enjoy it. And then the series will be done, dusted. It's going to be a full, seamless series, and I can't wait to look back on that. As for the rebuild itself, because obviously I want to touch on that a bit, there's a few things that I absolutely have to recover, being the whip, the Dragonstone jewelry, and the full Guthan set. Now, the rune crossbow loss hurts because the Theater of Blood gets a lot harder without the rune crossbow. I've decided that I'm still going to attempt to get it back, but I'm not going to make it a primary focus. The rune crossbow was introduced into the Theater of Blood plan before we found out about full Guthans. Full Guthans was just never really considered, and then I got the crossbow, and then it's like, hey, full Guthans is actually pretty good, and it made the theater a lot easier. But without the rune crossbow, 4 of the 6 rooms get changed. You use it in 4 of the 6 rooms. At least those bosses have something to do with the rune crossbow, right? So if we don't get a crossbow, it's possible. It's just going to be a lot harder, and there's going to be some changes in the actual way we take certain rooms on. But whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, we'll adapt. We'll make it work. Guthans is the main grind, which I'm not worried about it at all. I've optimized Barrows really well, and I even grinded that little bit extra to get 90 magic a few months ago. That's going to make it better. I want to revisit the idea of the wipe being fate, because I saw a few comments that are like, dude, you're fucking out of your mind if you think that this is fate. Like, that's sad, right? When it happened, I definitely didn't see it that way. In fact, it compounded really hard with everything else that was already going on in my life. I mean, I was truly lost. Like, it took my close friends to point out what I couldn't see at that time, and part of that is the clean slate. I mean, I had just moved on from the worst period of my life. I went through a lot of turmoil, and not only that, but I've just genuinely been unhappy with how limited I've set myself as a content creator. And by that I mean I've been putting all my blood, sweat, and tears into this one series, one video every 30 to 60 days, and I wanted to do more. I've wanted to pursue other videos, make the things I want to make alongside this series, but there was a couple things that prevented me from doing that. For one, my mental energy wasn't all there from dealing with that unhealthy dynamic in my life, and 2, I felt confined to this series because I figured it's all people ever wanted to see from me. I don't want Swampletics to be me, and that's one thing where people were like, oh, he's milking this series because this is all he has, but I don't want that to be my identity. I don't want it to be all I'm known for as a creator. I mean, I want to finish it and I want to make it great. I want it to be one of the things I do with my time as a content creator, but by no means do I want Swampletics to be my identity. And I want this series to be the beginning, the introduction to how crazy and creative you can be with this game and how you choose to play it. And ultimately what I've decided is this. I'm going to start doing things for myself. I'm going to start posting other RuneScape content. I'm going to start putting out other RuneScape videos that aren't Swampletics. I've been having so much fun playing on my maxed Ultimate Iron Man recently, which I've been doing for the past 4 months or so. And literally my goal with that account, my maxed Ultimate Iron Man, is to just make it one of the most accomplished accounts ever on the game. And I'm ready to show the world what I've been working on with that account. And don't worry, obviously Swampletics isn't going anywhere. I'm still going to finish it. I'm still going to rebuild. I'm still going to finish it. In fact, I want to stream most of my rebuild. It's been so long since I've live streamed because of what I mentioned earlier in this video, but now the circumstances are a bit different. These are grinds people have seen on video, but not on live stream. So I think it would be awesome to stream the rebuild. I'm doing most of this in one take, okay? I'm sorry. And I think it would be awesome to stream the rebuild and get back into it that way. Episode 32 is going to be the best episode of the series, I promise you. Okay, the finale is going to be better, but you get it, okay? I have some really incredible ideas for episode 32 to make it intriguing, make it good to watch, make it fresh to watch, most importantly. I think the streaming part of it will be super awesome to share and take people along for the ride with. And alongside that, people don't really have to wait super long in anticipation for what might be a long rebuild, you know? Obviously, everything I lost was a luck-based item. So if people are waiting in super long anticipation, they can be like, oh, I'll check out his stream, you know, hey, the account is progressing, you know, there it is. I got my little fix if I'm a fan of the series. But going back to the main Ultimate Iron Man, I've done some really awesome things on that account that I've just been waiting to put into videos, and I haven't released any videos other than Swampletics because I just always felt Swampletics would overshadow anything else I upload, but I'm done thinking like that. And that brings me to my next thing. I'm going to be playing the new Trailblazer League. It releases on October 28th, and originally I wasn't going to play it because I was just going to focus on my account, but god damn it, I want to play the league, okay, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try to post some fairly consistent videos on Trailblazer League. I'm not sure how consistent yet, but pretty consistent. If you're unsure of what Trailblazer League is, first off, I'll link the trailer in the video description, but to sum it up, fresh worlds come out. They're up for 2 months. On those worlds, everyone starts out locked to Mistalin, and Karamja is a free unlock. You can unlock 3 more regions in the game, so you have to choose which regions you unlock, and you complete tasks. You can get relics to make your gameplay like absolutely wild. I'm super excited for it. I'm gonna link the trailer for it in the description because it's so well made and will get you hyped if you want to play it. But yeah, I'll definitely be playing Trailblazer, which means other content such as Swampletics and also my main Ultimate Iron Man will probably be put on hold for a little while because I just want to make really consistent videos on Trailblazer League, and as soon as that stops being fun is when I'm just going to move on to streaming my rebuild, making the main Ultimate Iron Man series, as well as other one-off videos. I have some really crazy ideas that could be fun for one-offs, and I'm just gonna do it, man. I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm done, okay? I'm done only making this series and especially having people think that this series gives me some kind of insane cash flow that I have to die in order to milk. Okay, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna play what the hell I want to play, and that starts now. I want to address something that I've been criticized for recently, not nearly as much as faking my death to milk the series, but nonetheless, it should be addressed. I deleted the tweet a while ago now, but last year in July, I made a tweet about one of my biggest videos ever, making $48. And I tweeted that because at the time, that fucking sucked. I mean, I had Lil Smokey make an edit for that video, an absolutely brilliant edit. And with what I paid him for his work, I lost money making that video. And I spent like, I think over 300 hours making that video, and I lost money on it. So if you're a YouTuber, you're well aware that gaming content gets pretty bad CPM, except for December for some ungodly reason. But anyway, this year was a perfect example. When COVID hit and advertisers started to pull out, revenue across the platform fell like 60%. It's just not a stable thing. Patreon is stable. And when I made my Patreon, I told myself I'd never advertise it in a video, and I still haven't, but I had a Patreon for months at this point, and I hadn't advertised it anywhere, so I tossed it in as a subtweet to the tweet that I announced where the video made $48. And I tossed my Patreon in there as a subtweet because of the inconsistencies on YouTube. And, you know, if anyone wanted to support me or pledge there, then, you know, that's where they would find my Patreon because I hadn't advertised it anywhere else. But moving on, the video did end up making about 60% of what it's supposed to make a few days after the upload, which is in line with the other videos that I've had this problem on, the inconsistencies. This one was just the most drastic. I've never seen a video with over 500,000 views make less than $50. And if I could go back, I would have announced that it caught up, and I'm sorry about that. Since this was the first time I was vocal on this kind of subject, I should have updated people, and that's totally my bad. I was just in the mindset that this video still wasn't where it should be, and it was not my intention to mislead people into thinking that I'm broke or something. So if there's any patron out there at all who pledged to me as a result of that video or that subtweet who feels like they were misled, I will more than happily refund you every dime. I just message me on Patreon. I'll sort it out for you. I don't want anyone to feel that way. It really wasn't my intention, I promise. And I sincerely apologize for that. And with all that said, I just wanted to say a couple closing words. I'm doing a lot better now. I think the storm has pretty much passed in my life, and that unhealthy dynamic is gone. I'm finally starting to feel true happiness again, and I am extremely excited to start putting out some really amazing, unique content that I've wanted to put out for so long. So thank you for listening. I really need some water, and all the best. Take care, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.